This video was created by VinylicPuma of VinylicPumaGaming. Warning, vulgarity awaits. What is going on, everybody? This is VinylicPuma, and today I wanted to go ahead and talk about the Overwatch beta that is now free from like May 5th to May 9th. So let's go ahead and we will discuss what I think of this game. Is it like Battleborn? Is it like Borderlands? Is it whatever? Let's go. I do kind of want to put forward a disclaimer here. I have a love-hate relationship with this game. Mostly hate relationship. So if you are somebody that's into competitive FPS, you may not like my opinions. However, if you're for somebody that's more into like RPG style games, you may like my opinions. So another thing, but we'll go ahead here and I will talk about more of the positives of this game. So the first compliment I'm going to pay Overwatch is that the graphics and the art style are really good. And the art style pretty much reminds me sort of like Pixar in a way, if that is a weird distinction or not. And like Borderlands and like even Battleborn, which is a lot of people are looking at this game as its competition, all of those games have good art design that's going to last over time. And I think the focus on like just kind of this cartoony thing as opposed to like this hyper-realism that we see in a lot of other games is a good thing. And honestly, I would like to see a lot more of that. Now, I am playing on the PC version, and as far as the performance of the game goes, this game ran extremely well on my system. Pretty much a solid 60 FPS all the time, even on Epic, which is the highest setting. And what's kind of interesting is that this game, the requirement is a GTX 660, which is a graphics card that was pretty much standard in 2012. So if you have a relatively high-end graphics card from 4 years ago, you can max out this game with pretty much no problems. And now is here where I'm going to start talking about more of the negative things that I experienced with Overwatch. One of the most annoying things I experienced was disconnects from the server or just like lag in general. And it seemed like at one point during one game that I don't have filmed here, but my entire team got disconnected while we were gaining an edge on the other team during a match, and we lost that game because we all got disconnected. There are other times when it takes the game time to register all of the proper hit detections, making it seem like you're missing a whole lot more than you actually are. And I guess it's worth mentioning that this is in beta, so there are things that they'll probably fix later on down the road, really in like 20 days or so when this game ultimately releases. But now for the game itself. Honestly, the pacing for Overwatch was a little slower than I was expecting, and if you got a chance to play the Doom multiplayer beta that came out like last month, towards the end of last month, the pacing in that game actually felt slightly faster than the pacing in Overwatch, which I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting Overwatch to be super fast and whatever. The player versus AI practice modes are, honestly, they are way too easy. Almost noob level easy, and I would say that you could almost skip the practice mode entirely, as you're going to get a better experience just playing in PvP, and you'll actually get better at the game. So I think one of the things that's gonna hurt this game is the tutorials, and the tutorials are only good for you figuring out how to like learn the basics of how to control your characters. However, it doesn't really teach you how to play the game. And I think one of the biggest hurdles that this hero shooter genre that you've got Battleborn, Paragon, Overwatch, etc., the biggest problem that all of these games are going to have is explaining exactly how you're supposed to play these games. Because I feel like I had a lot of periods with both the Battleborn beta as well as the Overwatch beta where I had absolutely no idea what I was supposed to be doing. I think that's one of the biggest reasons that I hate team-based FPS games like this because they're just hard to get into. You always need this good balanced team of heroes, and for example, if you have either too many healers, you have too many tanks, you have too many offensive or defensive players, you will lose every single time. Plus, since the beta has only really just started, you're going to have people that have absolutely no idea what they are doing, and you will get killed constantly because your team will have a horrible balance of heroes. I can't count the number of times that I'm in like the multiplayer queue where everyone on my team picks characters, and everyone will pick the offensive and the defensive heroes, despite the fact that there are notices on the side of the screen that we need more tanks and we need more support characters. I don't know, guys. I don't think Overwatch is a bad game, despite all of the hate and vitriol I'm basically like spewing here. But I feel like this game was kind of being overhyped a lot by the internet and various YouTube personalities in general. And like I said before, I don't think Overwatch is a bad game or that the YouTubers are being dishonest. I think what it is that a lot of YouTubers that got early access played in like a very controlled environment where everyone that was playing knew what they were doing and had a firm grasp of the game's mechanics. And this is a game where you don't have to be insanely good, or at least not yet, but you do need a properly balanced team or you will lose every single time. Now, you may be wondering if I had any fun at all despite the fact that I'm getting my butt kicked in this gameplay or just whatever. And you know, honestly, I mean, when you do have a good balanced team where you've got the proper amount of offense, defense, tank, and support heroes, this game is actually pretty enjoyable and pretty competitive in my opinion. I also think that since Overwatch has pretty much been all over the place on both YouTube, Twitch, and just the internet in general, there are a lot of people that will probably try and like this game, and probably after a month or so after release, maybe the community will finally figure it out. You need a good hero balance in order to have fun. Is this game like Battleborn? And you know, actually, it kind of is. The multiplayer, in my experience, has consisted of building turrets, depending on what hero you pick, and escorting a truck across the map. Or in another multiplayer mode, the goal is to hold a specific capture point for as long as possible. And the first mode that I mentioned, where you escort that truck, is sort of like Battleborn's Meltdown mode, except in my opinion it's less complicated and chaotic. It's also worth mentioning that Battleborn is more of a direct MOBA FPS style game with some progression and leveling systems. Overwatch, on the other hand, is more of a traditional first-person shooter in the sense that your character doesn't even level up at all or level up to gain new abilities or whatever. There are like no RPG elements. In other words, you have all of the abilities from the start, and what I think is the best part of this is that you have every single character from the start in Overwatch. One of the things that really frustrated me about the Battleborn beta was that you didn't have access to certain characters, and you had to win multiplayer matches in order to gain access to those particular characters. And this will sound like a weird statement to say, but you know, I actually think Battleborn, and of course this is all based on my experience with that beta for that game, is almost too grindy, where Overwatch could actually use some better progression systems. So if there was like a way that I guess like the two copied each other, that actually would probably help both games in my opinion. And now for the final verdict. Will I buy this game? No, but that's mostly because I'm not somebody that's typically into team-based competitive FPS. I will say, if you're somebody that likes Team Fortress 2, this might be a game that you might want to play because it kind of has some elements of Team Fortress, and it's probably more close to Team Fortress than it is to Battleborn in that way, in terms of the way the game plays. But honestly, I think maybe if you do like that game, you probably will like Overwatch as well. Anyway, guys, that's going to pretty much wrap up this particular video. This game just frustrates me because I feel like it's a good game, but there's stupid people playing it. And maybe I'm one of the stupid people as well, because, I mean, in this gameplay, I'm just getting my ass kicked. But I don't know, guys. This game, not for me. But again, team-based competitive FPS, also definitely not for me. So anyway, if you like this video, please be sure to leave a like. We'll go back to Borderlands content. We'll go back to normal. I think tomorrow, and if not tomorrow, we will be back to normal on Saturday, in case you all are curious. As always, take care, and I'll see you all next time.